LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Starlight I-League StarSeries Season 4. We're going to be going into what is, I suppose, well, it's hard to say. It's our third matchup on this stream, but it is the 5th/6th matchup overall, because obviously we have two streams going at the same time. It is going to be Renegades playing up against G2, and obviously a little bit of a new look Renegades. I feel like you're actually probably the most qualified person to sort of talk about them at the moment.
I mean, out of us
stream.
two, yeah, sure. You know, we can say that. Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen them play a few times over on the NA stream. Jacob obviously had his work cut out for him. Filling the boots of NAF isn't easy.
No, for sure.
But he's been doing a pretty good job of it, you know. And I think he always was someone who could have been a bit of a superstar, right? But they never quite found his footing, never quite had that big break. This is a good shot for him, though, I think.
Yeah, thrown in at the deep end, though. I feel like it doesn't get much more difficult than this, even if you are joining. Like, he's been in a mixed sort of superstar roster, but then he's coming up against the so-called French super team, which I don't think has really hit its heights. I think there's still a long way for it to go, and definitely in sort of group stages, at least in the major, they're on fire. Like, just absolutely destroying everyone. They did lose, but they lost to the major champions, so it's somewhat arguable either way. But by the looks of it, we are going to hear a little bit from G2 themselves, as we've got a G2 video.
What is going on, everybody? I'm stood next to, I think, my longest friend in competitive CSGO. It's Shocks, Richard Papillon from G2. It's great to see you, bro.
It's great to see you too as well.
How is it to be here in Ukraine?
It feels good, like I've been a lot of years since we come to StarSeries, so we are always happy to come there.
Yeah, and so what are your initial thoughts about the tournament? You did make legend status at the last major, and you're looking to potentially build on that and get a even higher placing here.
Definitely, yes. We'll see what we can bring to the table to this event. I think it will be a really interesting event, as it's a best-of-3 Swiss format, so we can see a lot of good matches.
Yeah, I think that's something very exciting about the tournament. Do you feel that that format is going to favour you guys?
I don't know if it's gonna favor us, because we actually have 2 weeks maps, as everyone knows, and we do not have very big time to practice it since a major, even if we try it, so we'll see, but of course you always prefer to play a best of 3 than a best of 1.
And are you happy overall with how the team is doing right now? How was practice before the tournament?
It went okay. I won't say it was the best thing, but it was not the worst as well, so coming up to the major, it's really sometimes, I don't know, like kind of weird to just come back to the practice again, you know, because the major have been for like 3 weeks and stuff. So it's been a bit weird, but we'll see what we can do there.
Yeah, and talking about what you can do, you're going to have to try your very best shortly when you'll be playing against Renegades. What do you think of that squad? They've got Jacob on the team now, and how do you guys stack up against them?
I think it's kind of the same as a lot of matches we had at the major, as we are definitely the favorites, but it's a really tricky match, I will say, as we have everything to lose and they have everything to win. So we'll have to play as a favorite and to win as a favorite.
All right, and overall, what are the goals here at this tournament? Realistically, where do you think you guys can place?
It's really hard to say, as with the Swiss format in best of 3, you can maybe potentially have like quarterfinal match in the group stage itself. So I don't really know. I think we still just need to see the group stage and see how it goes, and then we'll see at the end at the group stage.
There we go. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Looking very much forward to seeing how you guys do. Richard, any final words you'd like to say to anybody watching?
Thanks for watching, and I hope you will enjoy this CS day in Ukraine.
Best of luck.
Yeah, so there we had Shocks. Obviously, we got the team on the screen at the moment. Someone who, a little bit unfortunate, recently is going to have to go into, have an operation on his wrist. So a little bit worried about that. He is one of my all-time favorite players. So just hearing that's happening is terrifying for me. And for him, I imagine, as well. Maybe a little bit more so for him. But, yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to seeing what they can do at this tournament. Because, as said, I don't believe that they've hit the heights that they probably hoped to achieve, especially when they sort of picked away all the best players from the French scene. I don't think there's any real doubt about that. And I don't know, do you ever look at this? I know that actually you've spoken about it a little bit, but do you think they'll make changes at some point if it doesn't eventually improve?
I mean, I think if it doesn't improve, you're going to have to. I don't think we're in a situation where, even you look at it, right, like VP, they've kind of admitted we have to make changes. I think that G2, they're probably going to be a bit faster to go to that, right? They don't have that same long-standing status with this squad. They took kind of the best players at the French team, out of all the French teams, from a few years ago. But I think there's a few people maybe they could look to bring in that would really shake things up. I don't know, though. It is a tricky one. Because it's like, who would you bring up?
Well, that's genuinely why I would, at this point, I've not even thought about them sort of changing any players. I think that, especially now that Envy's sort of got a new roster, it could be a little bit more interesting, maybe seeing how some of those players come through. I'm actually very excited to see how Hadji will do, because I think in the academy team he was incredible. But, yeah, I think this team are definitely going forward. I don't see them changing anything soon. And I'm hoping that they will just work on all of the problems, because I think they no doubt are still the French super team. The problem is, even then, you talk about having a couple of weaker maps, especially in this best-of-3 format. It means that it's very possible that they get a map they don't like. The thing is, I feel like if they're tactical about it, I don't think Renegades are going to want to play Nuke either. So I think that they should wait until sort of second stage to actually get rid of Nuke, and then really get rid of, I think it's Train that they don't really play either. So get rid of that first and just hope that Renegades haven't got it as a pocket pick, which I highly doubt anyway. Either way, we've got another video.
What is going on, everybody? I'm here with Noah Nifty from Renegades. Welcome to Kiev.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's your first time here, right?
First time in Ukraine, yep.
Any initial impressions? You turned up late, so it was a bit dark. Maybe you couldn't see everything, but there's some snow, and maybe you've seen some of the kind of local area culture.
Yeah, couldn't see as much as I would like to during the daytime, but we're in a nice, convenient area, a lot of stuff nearby to check out, so happy to be here.
Yeah, and you're about to go into your first matchup, your first best-of-3 of the competition. Are you feeling ready and prepared?
Yep, we are ready. We practice. We came prepared. We have everything that we're ready to do. So
prepared as you could be, because there's been a recent change, of course. You were playing with Nafly recently, but he's since departed to Liquid, and now you've got Jacob on the squad. So how is that going to work out going forwards?
Well, it's interesting because we all know how good Jacob is. It's been a while since he's competed, but it's not like he's lost any of the talent that he has and skill that he has and stuff like that for the game. But he's a really good teammate so far, and we're enjoying playing with him. So we're planning to make it as far as we possibly can here.
Yeah, he's been on some stacked rosters and has hit a very high skill ceiling at times. What's it been like so far playing with him, and how much time have you actually had?
I think we've had about a week or two maybe. I got some practice in, and it seems fine. I think playing with him is fun. It's interesting. It's new because he is a European and he's played with those experienced rosters, like you said. So it's all a new experience, and I think there's a little bit of something for all of us to learn from him.
Yeah, were you doing that whilst he was still in Europe, or did he get over quickly on a flight at the start of last week or whatever, like you said?
Yeah, no, he jumped on a flight the very next day that we needed him. So really good on him. He took the opportunity. He wanted it. So really happy to have him.
Fantastic. Very dedicated. Shout out to Jacob. Final things then, Nifty. What are the overall goals here at Star Ladder? And, where are you looking to place? Any particular competition that you'd like to take out?
Yeah, of course we'd like to make it out of the Swiss format here, out of the groups. So, yeah, that's really like the main goal. But we really just want to. I really just want to make sure that we're playing calm, comfortable Counter Strike. And if we lose, I want to lose because we're not outplaying ourselves. You know, I really don't want to beat ourselves this event. So that's something I really want to try to work on. And we hope to really take down as many opponents as we possibly can.
Fantastic. Still surreal for me to be interviewing this guy after knowing him since end of 2013. Yeah, almost coming up to 5 years at the end of this year. And you're growing into quite the fantastic individual. Pleasure to talk to you, Nifty.
Thank you very much, man. I I love talking to you, so.
Best of luck.
Of course, thank you very much to Parler and, of course, Nifty once again. I think I'm interested by this roster. I think it's going to be exciting. I think losing NAF is obviously a massive thing for their team, and we already mentioned it sort of at the beginning. Incredible boots to fill, but out of all the players that were sort of on offer, I think maybe that someone like Jacob, or that you were looking at maybe Dennis or someone like that, who's now obviously departed and gone over to NIP, but I think that he probably was one of the best players on the table sort of around that Renegades could have got. And the fact that he was so willing to just jump straight over to America and put in the work, I think that's just going to work wonderfully for their team. I think it should work. It's just whether or not it's good enough to actually take on G2.
Well, I mean, Renegades, Tom, let's not forget, they surprised us at the StarSeries Invitational in Shanghai. They actually were able to win that whole event, right?
Yeah,
and
beating Virtus Pro in the final.
Yeah, they beat VP. They beat a lot of good teams to actually get that far. Now, I mean, kind of debatable whether or not that's going to, how that's going to quantify now looking at this matchup versus G2, of course. This is G2, the French super team. So definitely going to be a bit of a trial by fire, for the new Renegades guys. But based on what I've seen from them so far, Jacob does seem like he's fitting into the team well. You know how occasionally you can kind of see when someone isn't quite slot into the team just yet. Maybe it's not very natural in the beginning. It doesn't come quickly to them. But for the Renegades guys, it seems like, at least across kind of their core few maps, they have him slotted in quite nicely.
Yeah, I think that will be, again, an interesting thing to sort of note is what maps are actually going to be coming up. I know that we will have the veto fairly soon. I do think that in terms of this map, it should be like fairly similar. I think it's definitely possible that we'll get something like Cash. I think both teams actually do enjoy playing Cash, and I think maybe a cobblestone as well.
Yeah, I think there's 4 for me it could be, and that's going to be like maybe... I'm hoping that we get to see Inferno. I've kind of enjoyed seeing Renegades play that map. But I think, we could see maybe Mirage, Cobble, Inferno, or Cash. They're the ones I'm thinking. And as we get into this, we're going to get Cobble, Mirage, and Inferno. So there we go. That's not too bad. Early day predictions from you and I, Tom.
I'm interested that G2 actually banned Cash, but I suppose it is a strong map for Renegades. A little bit more of a pug style map, and when they do have a new player, that could actually work out in G2's favor, just sort of removing that from the action. But yeah, I don't think either of the teams will be particularly unhappy with how this veto has gone. As said, like, we do actually see the train ban coming out from G2, pretty much just knowing that there's no way that their opponents are going to want to play versus them on Nuke anyway. Like, neither of them wanted to play Nuke, but more so, I think G2 just played that well, just made sure that both maps are out of the pool. So that was what Shox was actually saying in the interviews. Like, yeah, the reason this is going to be a bit more difficult is because we have 2 maps that we don't want to play. Well, neither of them are in there.
Yeah, and the reason now that this makes this matchup that much more exciting is I think we get 3 really strong maps for these teams, and that's good. That always makes for some good Counter-Strike, Tom. And that's what I'm interested in seeing. I mean, I know the first 2 series that we saw over here, you and I kind of caught the end at the end of both of them. They were a little more one-sided, shall we say. And I'm always a fan of things coming close. So let's see how this matchup goes. I'm hoping we get to see all 3 maps. I hope we get to see it go through to Inferno. That would be not only fantastic for us as spectators, but I think then it will be good just for Renegades, right? I mean, like, G2 are not an easy team to beat. I know when they made their exit from the major, they kind of looked at that as a bit of a failure, right? But I think that was before anyone realized how far that Cloud9 run was going to go.
I think most people, or a lot of people at least, were saying like the team that won that game was probably at least going to the final, because obviously you had a weakened SK, and then you also, FaZe was expected to get there as well, and then it was that matchup where people were going, okay, I think majority of people still went with FaZe, but I just look at it and go, even in that match when I was watching it, G2 didn't look like they showed up properly. I still think they had a hell of a lot more to give. And throughout the best of one stage, that's what we always saw from them. It was like MBK was having an incredible tournament, which is normally sort of an added bonus for that team. You've normally got Kenny, you've got Shox, and then if he steps up as well, then the team's just unstoppable. And throughout the group stage, we sort of looked at G2 and we went, you know what? This has been an incredible, like, this team looks ridiculous. Like, I had them as going all the way to the final. I had them and FaZe at the end, and then when they showed up against Cloud9, it just didn't look like they were the same team. So the scariest thing for me, for G2, if they were to lose this, would be sort of like, is it them not showing up? Because they said it themselves, or Shock said it himself. It's like, they know they're the favorites going into this, but they have to play like a favorite. And that is something I feel like G2 sometimes don't do. They're maybe a little bit too... They should be taking these aggressive pushes.
And, I mean, you can even tell that, right, when we saw that interview that just took place. I mean, like, Shox isn't coming in with any, like, not like loads of confidence statements. He's not like, just gonna bash out Renegades casual, head on through to the... he was given a lot of respect or whatever everyone they're facing. They're kind of acknowledging that things aren't going the way perhaps that they want them to. And I think that's been a long-standing problem with G2, if I'm honest. Like, it's always been... they have such a high skill ceiling, but we never see them, reach it. And if they do, they kind of show up in like one matchup, and then, the next day, they're kind of straight back to struggling and having these issues, right? And that's something they've been working hard on to fix. Kind of from speaking to those guys, I know that they're keen on getting those problems sorted. I mean, you kind of have like NBK directing all of that stuff. He's very driven to make this team work.
Well, the other thing that was always mentioned as well is like in-game leading, like whether or not Shox like should be doing it. Like, he's such a ridiculously good player that should he also have that task of like basically directing where the team should be going. And I think that's noticeable when things do start to go wrong for this team, is that then they go very, very wrong. It's not like it's either this team comes out of the blocks firing and they're incredible, or they don't, and then anybody can sort of come out and really break them down. And I think the Renegades are definitely a team as well that they do have the talent. I do feel like at points it's a little bit missing. Like JKS has always been someone where I'm like, this guy has always been sort of said to be someone up and coming, but I don't feel like he's ever quite reached the heights of what he could achieve. And then you've also got Nifty, who I'm so excited for this AWP battle.
Definitely.
Like, genuinely, this is two of my favorite AWPers to watch, two of the flashiest AWPers to watch. And like, especially across the maps that are coming up, it just could be absolutely ridiculous. Starting off on Cobblestone, both players, CT side AWP, looking forward to that. Mirage, that battle in middle, and just the rotational AWP as well. And then obviously on Inferno, that's where Kenny was like born. I feel like that's where he rose from the flames. It was just Kenny S on that CT side of Inferno.
Yeah, I'm insanely excited for this, because for me, within this Renegades roster, the thing is, it's like you really highlight Naf leaving because he was such a key player. But in a way, now it's given a bit more of an opportunity to the rest of the guys to really start to step up. I mean, throughout the NA Pro League thus far, we've really seen a big impact coming in from Justillo as well. And he's someone who I think can do well.
We saw that in China as well.
Yeah, I mean, and if he finds his groove, I think he is terrifying to play against. Like, he just exudes confidence in the game, right? And he'll just go for things that kind of, leave you scratching your head. It's just like, how did that even work? Like, you watch it and you just don't comprehend how one man has been able to get like a job done. And then, Nifty, I really cannot wait to see this matchup of him versus Kenny. Nifty is probably one of my favorite AWPers to watch right now. He's incredibly talented, and the one place I think he has Kenny beat is kind of in that resilience factor, right? Kenny has always been someone who's struggled where if you see him start to fall behind in a game, that can kind of carry on a little bit, and he struggles to lift himself out of that.
Yeah, like I feel like I've not really seen Nifty not play confidently.
Well, so like we had a few situations coming in like the Pro League where he might not be having such a good time of things, but then suddenly he'll just have this one round like, oh, Nifty's exploded, he's got himself an ace, and then he's straight back into it. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the issue I see with this G2 lineup is if they start to fall behind, certain players feel like then it becomes their responsibility to step up. And, I mean, one of the players who I think definitely carries that burden is Shox, right? And then, it's kind of a dip in the overall communication within the team because suddenly Shox is now focusing on trying to be the big-time fragger. And, it just kind of causes them some of these problems. But definitely excited to get into this one, Tom. I hope we get to see it go all three maps. Inferno would be a real treat. We're getting ready to head into Cobblestone, though. And I'm curious, what way do you see this first map going?
I actually I'm just in the G2 camp. I think this is going to
You're
be
just in there.
a 2-0.
Just chilling out in the GT camp.
I do think this is going to be a 2-0. I'm a little bit biased. They are one of my favorite teams, and I really enjoy just watching them play, like especially when they're at their best. And that's the thing. I think G2, especially in group stage, obviously the group stage is a little bit different, but I think just going into this, they've got no reason not to be confident in this matchup. They are playing against a team who's just recently got a new player. They've been together for quite a decent amount of time now, and I think just going into Cobble and Mirage, they should just basically be able to just destroy their opponents.
Okay, I'm gonna be ballsy with mine then, Tom. You know, you've played it safe, but also I'm gonna go with what I believe in. And I'm thinking of Renegades 2-1.
You're thinking Renegades?
Renegades 2-1.
Okay. Okay. Well, it looks like we're going to be going to another short pause, but it comes along with a video.
Всем привет, друзья! Вот-вот начнется 4-й сезон StarSeries, и со мной Михаил Столяров, он же Дося, уже экс-капитан Гамбит, правильно?
Все правильно, да.
Рассказывай, почему экс? Что случилось?
Ну, мы до сих пор не можем найти свою игру, как бы пытаемся что-то новое постоянно делать. И смена роли капитана также входит в что-то новое.
А как тебе этот опыт?
Положительно. Я многое понял, что я делал не так до этого по отношению к капитану. Буду учитывать это в будущем.
Как ты оценишь вообще выступление команды на мейджоре?
Ну, мы 100% провалились. Ехали мы туда подготовленные по факту и с чувством, то, что мы минимум должны входить в топ-4. Но что-то где-то расслабились, где-то не доиграли. Так случилось.
Как сейчас, в какой форме сейчас вы?
Мы сильно не готовились к этому турниру, по сути. Ну, как объяснить? Мы не все показали на мажоре, потому что не участвовали в Best of 3, в плей-оффе, и поэтому у нас...
Тут будет Best of 3 очень много.
Да, здесь будет много Best of 3, и будем показывать все, что не показали на мажоре.
Просто, ну, если неопытный зритель посмотрит матчи команды Гамбит в онлайне, он может подумать, что форма вообще практически никакая. Но опытный зритель знает, что Гамбит на лане — это совсем другая команда, правильно?
Да,
Поэтому можем ожидать от вас положительных результатов, правильно?
Ждать от нас все, что угодно можно.
Может быть, все, что
Да.
угодно. Окей, расскажи, как тебе Абай в роли капитана?
Ну, для него это точно так же новое, как и для меня. Пока он только пытается выстроить свою...
Есть
такую-
потенциал у него?
Потенциал, конечно, есть.
В этой
Потенциал
роли?
у всех есть. Главное, раскроет он его или нет.
А теперь главный вопрос, который волнует абсолютно всех. Почему вы взяли Сизда?
Потому что это адекватный человек, с которым приятно общаться. Адекватный вполне игрок, который был капитаном на протяжении года или больше в Нави. Он в игру вносит очень много импакта. Ну, в принципе.
А вы рассматриваете вариант с тем, чтобы он стал в будущем капитаном в Гамбит? Или вы вообще...
Ну, время покажет.
То есть
Если сейчас никто не справится, то если Денис вызовется, то почему нет?
Окей, в целом можешь как-то описать, какие есть цели у команды Гамбит на вот 18-й год? Вот чего хотите добиться?
Ну, год только начинается. Ну, не знаю даже. Нам очень важно попасть в 5 лучших и продержаться в ней. Ну,
В
просто...
рейтинге ХЛТВ, правильно? То есть стабильность — это то, к чему вы стремитесь?
Да.
Хорошо, давай поговорим по поводу турнира нашего. В Киеве здесь будет швейцарка, БО3, все игроки в восторге. Я думаю, вы тоже, правильно?
Конечно.
А как думаешь, для Гамбит это плюс или минус, то, что будет много БО3?
Ну,
А не
это
было
большой
один.
плюс, потому что у нас новые капитаны, нам нужно играть на лане как можно больше игр. И это как раз то, что нужно.
Ну окей, тогда, в принципе, я думаю, вы здесь одна из команд, которая получит самую большую поддержку наравне с Нави. Я думаю, за вас тут будет болеть очень многие, поэтому можешь передать привет или какие-то слова болельщикам, которые придут сюда, в арену, за вас поболеть.
Приходите, болейте за нас. Мы будем рады всех видеть.
Спасибо тебе большое за твое время и удачки на турнире. Болеем за Гамбит. Или как там, Алга?
Алга Гамбит.
Все правильно.
Yeah, it's always good to hear from the ex-god. And you know what? I think they're doing pretty well at the moment, isn't it? 1-1 in their game. I know that it's going into the third map. You're too focused. You're streamlined on this one.
I am so focused on this matchup. No, I'm really excited, Tom. I mean, yeah, we had a few tech problems, I think, there, but that's all sorted now. And we should be getting into this one relatively quickly. But let me expand on my prediction a little bit more. I just had to
It got like cut
I just kind of
off.
had to throw that in, and then we cut to that nice little interview with Gambit's ex-god. That's good.
I wonder what you were going to say there.
No, yeah, I know. I kind of trailed off as well. But
Gex God or something like that.
yeah. No, here's my prediction, Tom. 2-1 to Renegades. I think if it goes Inferno, I actually see them winning this out. I think whenever we see them play on LAN, the kind of improvement is just monumental across the board. And they always seem to surprise us on LAN, right? And they've looked very, very good in the online portions of the games that I've seen them play on EPL thus far. So, good stuff from there. They've had a little bit more time now to practice with Jacob, try and get him really solidified within the roster. And, also just because they are the boys. So, I kind of want
That's
them
just
to win
because someone tweeted at you a minute ago saying you're one of the boys. That's literally, you've just taken it. It's like one person has said it, and you're like,
said it, and that means
I'm
it's
one of
true.
the boys now. That's how things work. No, I don't know. I love the Renegades team. I do. But I just don't think they're going to be able to overpower G2. I think it's going to take an awful lot. And like maybe in a month or so when they've been together a little bit longer and they've had the time.
Long time.
Okay. You're just trying to play to the Aussies. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
I bleed whatever colour their flag is. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, does it?
Patriotism. I bleed whatever colour their flag is. That's just beautiful. Do you know what colour the French flag is?
No.
No. That's great, isn't it?
I don't know flags.
You don't know flag. You know Counter-Strike, though, right?
A little bit.
We'll see. We'll
more
see.
More than my knowledge of flags, Tom, I can assure you of that.
Either way, I think we've still got a couple of players missing from the server. So hopefully they'll be getting in fairly soon. I saw Kenny a minute ago. They've only got 3 players currently, and he said, "Don't worry, quality over quantity." So clearly he's feeling a little bit confident going into this one, and I'm hoping so because again that AWP battle for me is going to be what makes this game more entertaining than probably maybe any game coming up, because I just do think these sort of 2 players, when they're at their best, when they're playing out of their minds, you see some of the craziest shots. I still remember, I think it was Vince casting that through the wall shot that Nifty managed to pull off on Cash.
Oh yeah,
with Dust.
What
that was
that about?
absolutely disgusting.
He just does that's what I mean. That's why I love the Renegades, the Renegades guys.
The Renegades.
The Renegades.
The Renegades.
No, that's why I love watching them just so much. Is they do some of the most insane stuff, and I mean I'm really hoping they can show up here. It'd be such a shame, right? Especially given how much I've backed them.
Yeah, no, it would. Well, at least if you're sticking to your guns, that's fine.
I'm sticking to my guns, Tom. And I mean, I was there. I witnessed the win over VP in Shanghai, and that was great. What can I say? I was supporting them through and through there, and they managed to win it out. So maybe I'm the good luck charm.
Maybe that's what it is. They should just fly you to every event that they go to because you're the reason that they won in Shanghai. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Well, I know. I mean, they played incredibly, Tom. I don't want to take that away from them, but also I was there.
Well, I think the other thing, something we haven't mentioned too much, especially on Cobble, that I think is going to be a bit more interesting, is Azza. Always sort of running around in drop and just being a bit of a pain, just trying to get in on the flanks and catch off rotations. I think he is going to play a really big part in this cobblestone matchup, which of course is the first map of the day. Or of the day for us. There's been plenty of maps across the day so far, although I think both games on this stream so far have been 2-0. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to a third map, even though I have predicted a 2-0 to G2.
Well, let's get into this one, Tom. The moment you and I and everyone else has all been waiting for. G2 versus Renegades. First map about to be underway. And there's the knife round. Renegades get to choose what side to start on. That's always helpful.
I think most teams do still choose the CT side. I'd be interested to see if they would pick the T side just to sort of set a bit more of the pace. Maybe get themselves a little bit of momentum going forward just to build into that CT half. But and they are. I think they are as well, yeah. Nifty putting stay. So Renegades are going to start out on that T side. And again, I am going to be looking towards someone like Azza, just over towards that drop position to really take control. And it makes things so much easier when you have that portion of the map to split towards either of the sites. I think obviously on the CT side, making sure that the money's there for Kenny to get that AWP, because that's another thing that G2... Well, that's one of the things I don't like about G2, just a constant need to seem to force into rounds when you have one of the best AWPers in the world on your team. That
I don't think anyone likes that.
Doesn't seem to be able to get it. Yeah, I know, it's frustrating.
I don't even think G2 like that about G2.
But it's become almost a bit of a joke with the team. Like, they'll make the joke, just like, yeah, maybe we should start force buying. It's like, if you're making jokes about yourself, that's when you should stop. That's when you know it's gone too far, that you now know that you know what you're doing.
Tom, you make jokes about having no hair, and what can I say to you? I'll just grow it.
Yeah, well, I could try and just grow it like down the middle as like some weird.
If you grow it long enough, no one would even know you have a horseshoe-shaped hairline.
Yeah, what am I gonna do? Just like the Trump, just like have it like flapping in the wind. Like I have to like glue it
so
down.
So good, Tom. Let's get anyway.
It really wouldn't.
Let's get into this one at G2 versus Renegades. I've never looked at how odd that statue is before, but I've taken it all in, and there we go. Renegades, they're over on the T side. They go for that T side to start. And G2 already going to be stacking 4 players over here towards B. Shocks going to be holding the fort. Down in connector, he can rotate over here towards him. Take the aggression down long. This is going to put the pressure on at Ustillo. He's going to have to start to fall back, and this is a lot of ground taken by G2 early on. They're going to get so much information from this. Possibly even more. The first. That's going to be it for him. As Apex does manage to trade. Now Shocks and Kenny, they lie in wait up here towards A.
Yeah, this early aggression has got so much information from the CT side that they'll be able to rotate in over towards the site. Nifty trying to sneak across. He has the bomb, so if he can get there, then he can at least plant it. Jacob will find another. Shock still trying to hit shots, but can't find anything as of yet, and it's the T side coming out on top, leaving only MBK remaining, rotating in on the flank. But he needs a quick kill.
Yeah, he does, and they don't know that he's here right now. Time is ticking away from them, though. He's going to get spotted out. Okay, Jacob's gone. NBK. Now it's to 1 versus 2. Spots out Azza. Down here beneath the balcony. MBK knows times of the essence. Crossfire set up. Nifty finishes things off. And that will be the pistol round secured for Renegades.
Yeah, I like the aggression from G2, the information that was found, but I also sort of like the reactive play from Renegades. They realize there's enough players coming through over towards that B site that they just opt to run straight in towards A. They could have sort of tried to fight all of the people rotating back around, but way too much risk when they don't actually know where they're going to be playing. They get onto the A site, and then from then on just actually win out all of the battles. So much better from them. They come in with a stronger buy in this round. Quite a few rifles to play with, but a double scout. So looking to whittle away at those Renegades players and make it a little bit easier for the pistols. Already, tag will come in. Actually, neither of the scouts going to be on Kenny either, so he's just going to save money for that AWP.
Yeah, and already those scouts have done pretty decent damage. Nifty and Ustillo both tagged. They're going to start to send a few players over here towards mid. JKF rotating around. MBK. Going to get rid of Jacob. It's going to be a bit scary for Renegades now. They've gone ahead and lost 1 man. 2 players are tagged low. Shocks isn't done. The scout going to chime in with another. Azza's now been tagged. And 2 of these players are dead in 1 shot from the scouts. They've become budget AWPs in the hands of MBK and Shocks. JKS over here in mid. They're starting to creep in, but look at this. G2, they've stacked 4 players over here on A. As this push comes in, they're going to have their work out for them now. All 3 players tagged low. This round has gone horribly wrong for Renegades. JKS and Azza going to turn their attention up here towards long. There, he is going to go down. He's able to trade, but now it is just JKS left. 5 HP, 30 seconds, and Body's going to finish it.
Yeah, the scouts just working wonders in that round, tagging almost every single player low, and well, when you come down to it, Renegades just were peeking into different angles and just giving these opportunities to both MBK and Shocks, and they took them with both hands. So 1-1, break back. We're of course going to see the T side invest the money back in themselves. Nifty doing the same as what we saw from Kenny, just saving. Oh no, actually he's going to buy in. He's going to buy in with all the utility, so no save on that side. And when you look at the CT side, buy it quite a bit safer. They also have multiple rifles. They've got the Scout and the SMG onto Shocks, who I wouldn't be surprised if they go a little bit aggressive here, and he's going to go running towards that broken wall.
Renegades, they've taken this round slowly once again. Waiting to see if anyone from G2 perhaps tries getting aggressive, and then that would net them an early frag, potentially a gun to work with. But G2 playing equally as passive. MBK's over here towards Coop. Of course, he's going to have that scout, and he was pretty devastating with it in the previous round. Looking to try and replicate that success once again as Renegades turn their attention over here towards drop. They're going to leave JKS behind in mid. Flash themselves in. No one from G2 peeking. Shocks holding. Getting shadow open. Only one man here to trade. Naz has gone down. You still are now going to go running in as well. But they all line up for Shox. He drops himself 3. Surely not going to get any more. Nifty's gone as well. And Shox, you love to see it. 4 massive frags. Potentially the aces. JKS going to offer it up to him. And there we go. Shoxy. That's lovely.
Yeah, not only that, he's made a ludicrous amount of money for himself. 2,700 taken in that round. Thank you to the SMG. And, well, now the T-side have absolutely nothing to play with, so he's got another chance to do the same again. Will just be the Glocks. Don't even think we'll see anything here. Not even a P250, because they're just not going to have the money to do it. So expect to see just a fast play somewhere coming out from the T-side, just hoping to overwhelm maybe a rifle or 2. And if they even get a kill, I think that would be a success in this round. Really not expecting anything. And, well, Apex looking to now pad his stats as well, as he already nets 2 kills. But he is fairly tagged, so just going to fall back and, well, actually gets caught. There's a rifle into the hands of the team briefly, but Kenny is there to secure the round, and they are going to retrieve the rifle as well, so not really any loss.
Okay, now that buy is going to come in, though, for them. And I mean, right now, the thing that's a little bit scary is if there's one player you want to stop getting the confidence behind him, it's going to be Shox. Because not only does it reflect in his play, it reflects in the team's play and his calls. Yeah. So Kenny's now got that AWP in hand. Renegades, they're not going to have the luxury of having Nifty on his. We don't get to see that AWP battle yet. They're going to be playing aggressive down here in towards mid Apex. Wait, there's a smoke there, but Apex doesn't care. Going to go ahead and drop as and no potential to trade that out. Jakey Ash is a little bit behind at long. Man advantage taken early on here for G2. They're going to go ahead and push body down as well towards long over at B. So they're getting information on the back of that. Kenny's just locking down mid with this AWP. He still has plenty of utility left as well, as does Apex. So this A-bomb site is looking like a scary one if you are Renegades. And they're going to go ahead and turn their attention away from A. And now regroup with Jacob over here towards B.
Yeah, if they can get rid of body in this scenario, they do actually have a decent chance of making their way over towards the B side. However, he's just going to spot. That's all he needs to do. Just call the rotation. They've got aggressive players over towards that A side of the map. Still a little bit of a lurk left in by the T side, and that will be in the form of JKS. But already, extra utility being expended. Shox will go aggressive. He grabs more information, but now they're going to try and use this to pounce towards the A site. JKS running up the slope. Nobody actually on the site itself, so they are going to have free roam to actually get towards it, but the time's starting to tick, and now Kenny trying to make his way back in. He doesn't know how far forward JKS is, though, and suddenly this round has turned on its head.
Yeah, bomb's going to go down. Man advantage in favor of Renegades, and they're looking good in the afterplant. Apex going to start to creep on up towards the balcony. No one from Renegades offering any sort of advantage. Now Jacob is going to go down over a mid. That's body lurking on in, pouncing in from behind. You have to worry about him now. JKS gets kind of forced into a bit of an off angle as a result. He still has gone down along. JKS pulls one back. Body comes around. He's able to get the first. Now it's Nifty and Apex. 1 versus 1. Time is ticking away and Apex pressures on. Nifty looks away. Apex finds it, but there's no time left. And Renegades, they will manage to get a second round. 1 man survived, and that is Apex for G2. So the buy here from Renegades is going to be pretty terrible considering they just won that round.
Yeah, and this is where all of that extra money that has been saved up by G2 is just going to be absolutely perfect. You got Shox still on 10,000 going into the round, and then you got MBK and Body who'll be able to buy absolutely fine anyway. Kenny still has the AWP, so realistically this could be the worst case scenario for Renegades, winning a round and then instantly losing 1 back. Double AWP will come in as well. Shox clearly feeling confident, and again, we talk about all that money that he made. This is where it is spent. Quick flash in the middle. Shox actually misses the shot though. He does have support hiding in the corner. Goes for the repeat, clearly feeling confident, tries to bait them back into the angle. Remember, Apex is just around the corner, but through the flash, Shox is going to find a second smoke. That's actually not going to help too much either, as Apex still just lurks waiting. A 2-man advantage already for the CT side, and Shox is not falling back.
Nifty's in a dangerous spot now. He's got the bomb and he doesn't want to go down with it. I mean, you have 2 players still holding in mid. They're going to start to wrap around to long here. And the burning question is, do they continue pushing? Now, Shocks going to get shot down by Jake, and that was a little bit lucky they stopped the aggression. But do they anticipate Apex? He's been waiting here patiently. He's seen his once great leader go down at the hands of Jacob. He wants to try and get that revenge. They are going to start to peel away. No, Nifty's going to start to progress out here towards mid. He doesn't check it. And Apex, he waits. And he waits into the second. This is all over unless Jacob can make an absolutely insane play. And while he does take one, that's going to be it for him. G2 on to a 4th round.
That is just an utterly superb bake. The play from Shocks there is one of like sheer risk. That it seemed like, okay, there's not really that much of a reward there. He goes down, they lose one of the advantages they have. It was a 2-man advantage. But the brilliant thing about that play is that it just makes it seem that there's no way there's anybody else there. And then Apex with patience to just not only wait for the first player to walk past, and so he could have got that kill very, very easily, but then get the second as well, and that put the round to bed. T-side, as said, worst case scenario, they get instantly reset back after none of their players survive. And they're just going to have to go for some pistols. It is a full force in from them. And while already we will lose Nifty to the hands of Shocks, who has started this game in scary fashion.
I mean, we haven't even had to see the Kenny S or now Renegade's going to make their way into drop. NBK on the auto shotgun, able to find Jacob.
Gun.
Can he get any more work done with it? He will go down. Will be the shotgun dropped. Don't know how to pick it up. It only gets 1. Now there's an M4. Retrieved. Az is going to be on it. Kenny's going to start to come in. Shocks. He's alone up here on A. Has to be careful. He's going to take the peak, and he goes down. That's now a avenue into this A-bomb site. Considering going to go down behind, they know that both players are there. So Az has managed to lock in a bomb plant in this round. Well, it's not over just yet. Renegades, they want to try and keep things competitive. Bomb goes down. Flash is going to go high. Kenny and Body both just holding this angle, locking him in. They're going to start to creep into the site. As a 1 versus 2. Flash enables Body to take the peak. And he doesn't even need to see him. He smites him down. Defuse will come in. G2 onto a 5th round. Both AWPs going to be carried forward. With bomb shot from Renegades and damage done. So it's not the end of the world. That was a pretty decent round, all things considered.
Yeah, it's not bad in terms of what they have as an individual round, but the fact is it was sort of a position where they were trying to win it. They've invested everything they have. The bomb plant will help. It means that they can put a little bit more back into this round as well. So sort of the extra money will just be put back in as some pistols and not too much more. And then they'll be able to buy into the next round with the 2,400 they have. MBK, I'm liking this. He's not giving up on the XM. A lot of people would give up. He actually basically said in the chat afterwards that it was rubbish, but then still bought it again anyway. So I like that he's sticking to it. He's got the same skin as well. So me and him are basically best friends now. And I'm hoping he'll get some kills, because obviously $900 per kill pays for itself. Uncommon players, but he gets absolutely wrecked within the first few seconds.
He's gone down. Right off the body, he's able to drop himself too, and he's mopping up these eco frags. Shocks peeks out at the end. G2 going to be on to a 6th. The scary thing here for Renegades is when we saw these teams play, I think it was at Oakland, because I'm fairly certain, I was there, so I should know.
You should remember.
And I do remember. I don't know why I'm adding so much uncertainty around this, Tom. It was G2's CT side that really let them down on Cobble, and it allowed Renegades to win this out. So already, they're looking good. And I think the scariest thing is, if you are a Renegades fan, the G2, they're having fun right now. MBK just bought the auto shotgun twice in a row, despite admitting that it is the worst gun in the game.
No, it's not worst gun in the game. How dare you?
But that's scary, right? They're having fun with it. They're not, they're not worried right now.
The PP Bison is definitely worse, and so is the Nova. Anything else is arguable, but those two are not. and the Negev, that gun is trash. Either way, we finally see the AWP.
The Novas for Novas Foundation, which is providing low-ranked players with the shotgunner choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom, bad to get back into this. The AWPs are now out for Nifty. This is where things could pick up for Renegades. This is what they've needed. They have the AWP out on Nifty. He's a bit of a beast with it. He looks to try and find some success early on. He holds the angle down here in mid, suspecting that G2 might go for a peek. And Kenny, well, Kenny is here, and he is known for playing things a bit fast and loose over at long.
We actually, so far, the AWPs on G2 have been just switching. I think maybe based on spawn a couple of times that we saw Shox go for the aggressive peek into middle. So that's why it is being held currently by Nifty, because they've already tried it before. Now, he doesn't have any armor, so does have to be pretty careful with how aggressive he's going to be into this round. But at the same time, as said, this guy is pretty damn confident just in general. So I do expect to see him taking the battles. Now, drop control. Already gone, as said. Azza is someone who likes to fight in this sort of position. He's got MBK holding it just from the outside, and the same can be said for Body. Shox has already been tagged down to a measly 1 HP, but is just about surviving on his last legs. Actually, we are seeing the bomb slowly rotate back towards this A side, which only has 1 defender. CT side seem to realize this, and Apex will make his way towards the A site as well, as nothing's being spotted, and the aggression as well from Body is just going to net them all that information. He's found out everything. Yes, there's still a man holding in drop for rotations, but now the CT side should know that this has got to be A.
Yeah, well, this information is colossal, and it might even build up to more than that. He's so close. He's gained so much ground. He's going to be right behind them. It's Apex inside the site that has to try and hold things down for Body to arrive. There's only 15 seconds. That bomb is going to cross, and they're not able to deal with Apex. He's going to be in with the first. Hiding around the site. They're trying to go for the bomb. Apex denies it. That's the round gone. No time left for Renegades. The remaining players just hide it out, and you still... He's able to drop Body at the end. Shox survives on 1 HP, so economic damage done, but the round escapes them.
And the question is, just based off that 1 AK, do they actually invest into this round? I think just a little bit. I don't think we're going to see too much at all. They've got the max loss bonus, so even a bomb plant would be enough, and you could still go for something in the next round. Anyway, he's going to fully invest. Not much point saving the extra money, although actually it could have got him an AK and armor, so we'll see if it makes much of a difference. On the CT side, they've had a lot of close rounds, so in terms of their economy, it's nowhere near what we saw earlier in the game. A win here, or even just doing a lot of damage and a win in the next round, would reset G2 and give Renegades a way back into this matchup. But they need to do it soon, because already, as you said, we're waiting to see what the T side of G2 can do, and they're already on 7 rounds on this CT side and looking pretty dominant. Yeah,
well, right now, Renegades, they're over here towards A once again. They've already been trying their luck on this site, and it hasn't worked out for them. They're going to start to sneak up through ramp. 3 players here for G2. They're going to be walking almost stacked of the 2 sides. Apex spots the players. Body's dropped the bomb at long. That's going to cause some real problems. Kenny S. He shuts this down. It all falls to Nifty, and he gets nothing done. The force does not pan out for Renegades. They don't find any damage either. So now G2 starting to grow that economy.
Yeah, this is where they'll be able to buy back up, though. As I said, Ustillo is going to have to take a bit of a hit after dying. Well, not dying after round, surviving and not getting any loss bonus in the previous round, but it's not going to be too much of a detriment. He can just look to play some of the closer angles. As you said, CT side have now built up at least a little bit of extra money by keeping all of the players alive in the previous round, and they will be able to buy into the next one no matter what happens. And once again, you can see a bit more aggression from Kenny. He's actually fairly passive so far. Not too much at all. The T side going back to basics, so they do make their way towards this B side. They've got to watch out because Shox is looking to push himself, but misses the shots, and he gives an opening to Jake.
And a wall of smoke's going to start to rain in. The rest of the Renegades now follow in behind the Body. All the stand between them and this site. He goes down to try and get some work done, but Azza, he's on 2 on the entry. It's just Kenny and Apex left. Well, he's been able to get 1, but that's going to seal their fate. They start to fall back. Still utility left in. Yeah, okay. They're going to start to push back in, debating whether or not to go for this one. I think a lot of it going to depend on if Kenny finds something in the next few seconds. Bomb ticking away from them. Might look to try and make this costly for Renegades. Burns out GPS over in 2, but then you still is able to trade. Kenny's left 1v3. This is not meant to be. Now the rest of Renegades pull away. You still are actually going to pick up Kenny at the end. So Renegades, they get themselves a third round.
Yeah, there will still be a buy from the CT side, although that AWP save definitely could have boosted their economy a little bit. We're actually only going to see the singular AWP available as well, although I'm pretty sure Shox could have bought one if he wanted to, so clearly switching things up here, and we're actually going to see Nifty pick up the tactical pause. They're taking it just after they win a round away, but they don't want to be reset here. They don't want to have it a second time. We are just going to have to wait and see what they come up with here. They do have the AWP back in play. And of course, the last round was a little bit of a sort of riskier one from them because they still have the UMP. But a very important round in general for Renegades. If they lose this one, they're not going to have a huge amount of money left. And actually, both teams. This is pretty much the difference between G2 just completely running away with the half and Renegades actually being able to come back into it. Either way. Kenny going to be left as the lone defender of this A site. Obviously, in the previous round, we saw just a quick push from Renegades over towards B. Because of that, at least in the early sense, we're going to have 3 CTs, or it was 4. They've rotated back. T side over towards this A long position. Actually, they may be challenged here. Kenny looking to go a little bit of aggressive around this smoke. He's got his counter up on the other side. Both players spotting, both players missing. Still just going to be a little bit of a stalemate. T's, I think they've reacted to how aggressive G2 were sort of in the early rounds, and they're just making sure that they're not allowed to push a lot of these avenues. Once again, Azza is going to make his way in towards that drop spot, although MBK has been pretty happy to let him have it. I think only one round where we've actually seen Azza be able to get into those backlines, which is where he really likes to play, although now if you actually look towards that drop spot, he could split towards the A site fairly easily.
So just going to go ahead and eat that nade. Now they throw the rest of the utility out here towards B. And facilitate this early play. He's only got 25 seconds left in Shox. He smoked it off. That is going to waste a hell of a lot of time. Now for Renegades, they're faced with an awkward decision. Do they go through this? Going to be late on the timing. Flash goes out. Now drops the first. Nifty trade. They've only got 10 seconds. Time is of the essence. MBK falls within the site. Kenny to get here just to make time with the AWP, but they have to be careful because JKS always in the back. Nifty has to buy time and he can't. JKS, a 1 versus 3 would be required. He's able to get the first. Waddy and Kenny, they peek into that together. Kenny wins it out. Defuse about to come on in, and G2, they will get themselves a 9th round.
Yeah, now once again, it has happened again where just the T side are not going to be having that much money. Now, getting the bomb down will help them, and they've got 3 players who can buy into this next round. I wouldn't be surprised to actually see Renegades force this and try and break back, but it's, again, another individual round won by Renegades, and it is just problematic. By the looks of things, they're actually going to just save, just go for some pistols, the players with some extra money. Now, in terms of the next round buy, it will be slightly better, but it's going to allow a 10th CT round, or unless, of course, they can pull off some sort of miracle. And also, there was much more chance of actually resetting G2 going into this one. The thing is, they've been pretty good at the anti-ecos, just fighting against those pistols. We saw the last one that they had was absolutely flawless. So, the question is, are they giving a little bit too much over to G2? Either way, similar setup from the French side. MBK a little bit more aggressive in that drop spot. The T's are going to be setting to just burst their way in towards middle, but there's 2 defenders, one Kenny with the AWP, who thus far has been fairly consistent with hitting his shots and will do the same again. Takes the head clear off of Jacob. The split is going to come towards the site, but they're just being slaughtered. Apex and MBK, and while only 1 man will be dropped, once again, it's a very good anti-eco round coming out from G2. But now, well, I think if Renegades want to get back into this game, they not only have to win this next round, but they also have to win the last.
Yeah, it is going to be tricky, Tom. I'm not going to lie. I've been a big fan of the boys, and this isn't the spot I imagined them being, and it is a tough one to be in as well. G2, they are full steam ahead right now. They're looking good. Renegades haven't really had much to answer back. Now, Nifty's got the AWP in hand. He's going to be holding mid. There are 4 players here for Renegades. Trying to seize control early on. Kenny does lie in wait at long. He's going to be holding a very tight angle, waiting to see if that flash comes out, but they're going to go. He does get sent back now. Fight back to back with Apex here to try and stay alive. Kenny throws it off, but he's not there. He feels have broken up. Apex is still here down in mid, but he's going to fall as well. And now the man has come rotating in. Shox looks to be the savior. They haven't checked it once again. Not like this. He's able to go and find himself 2 nifty trades. And now just MBK. Body remain. JKS does manage to silence MBK. Body 1 versus 3. He's going to line wait, see if he can find anything here. Jacob repeats into it, and that's going to be a 4th round for Renegades. They get themselves the team ace. Everyone pulls their weight there. And crucially, with no one surviving 4G2, that economy that was once looking so good for the CT side, that we kind of saw start to get chipped away at towards the end, is now run dry. And for the last round of the half, the buy's not going to be anything to write home about.
Yeah, it's not like the worst case scenario. They still have rifles across the majority of players. Only MBK going to go for a pistol, and he has been playing over towards drop. Which is definitely quite an opportunity. Apex is going to go very aggressive, almost falls back, but he will survive on just about 7 HP, and I think this is just the way that G2 are going to look to try and rectify this round. Just go a little bit more aggressive, try and take the fight with the T side, and they have been winning a lot of these individual duels. Once again, drop control going to be a point of contention for Renegades, but the fact is, it doesn't seem that it's been overly challenged by G2. They've been pretty happy to just give it away to Renegades, and I don't feel like they're utilizing it that well. I think that was one of the things we really did give props over to in Shanghai, was that Azza was so impactful with a lot of the plays he was able to make, but thus far we haven't seen too much. This round, he's going to be looking to try make his way out. And on the other side, but he catches one, and there's the second. Finally, Azza will have that impactful play, and actually starts to drag players away towards the A side. The bomb may look to rotate back. Now, they do have to worry a little bit about MBK on the flank, but he will fall as well. Azza with 3 kills. Now, more interestingly, where are they going to go? Are they going to go back towards the B site, or are they going to rotate back around Body, looking to try and flank his way through? But it is all going to be left on this man once again. Shox. 30 seconds left on the clock. He's got players coming in from both angles, trying to use the tree to his advantage. Gets the first, but the second will not come. Ustillo is there. Bomb dropped by Body. Left into a 2 versus 1. Pushes back into the site. 17 seconds left. Gets the first, but not the second. Ustillo will close the round. Renegades do pull it back slightly towards the end, but it is still a fairly dominating half. 10-5 CT side for G2.
Yeah, that's not where I wanted Renegades to be, but crucially they get those last 2 rounds, right? And that at least kind of gets them out of the danger of the pistol round deciding their fate. And now, I mean, you just got to look at it on the flip side, right? If they do manage to win the pistol round, suddenly they're thrust back into this with an 8-10 scoreline. That said, I think we see a couple of these key players falling silent for Renegades right now. It seems like they've kind of been outclassed by G2 at every turn. And I hope that changes as we head into the second half. Renegades now over on the CT side. For G2, I feel like they're going to go very heavily on the old utility. Kenny and Apex picking that up. I'm curious to see where they do decide to go. 4 players here in mid now, progressing into long. He's there, spots a couple, also spots the bomb, and that's going to, you imagine, being enough to maybe force some rotations this way. Looks like Ustillo's considering trying to get aggressive down here over at B. That's something we see a lot of teams opt to do now. Gets you a lot of information. He's going to start to push down. Shox does lie in wait, watching for this exact play, so they have to be careful. It's a double-edged sword. If you find Shox, great, you've got yourself a man advantage, but he can just as easily find you, and there's no one there to trade.
Yeah. Shox in a pistol round. It's not something you really want. Taken. It's playing a little bit more of a sort of bait and switch, though. Doesn't do too much damage in the grand scale of things, and the rest of his team are going to look to try and gather up. He's at least held 2 players over towards that B side of the map, but now the smokes are going to rain out from the CT side. Nice shot from JKS to start. Will remove Apex from action. Falls back, gets a second, whereas actually his teammate, and they're just working this crossfire perfectly already. 3 kills from the CT side, make it a 4th, and well, good luck to Shox. He was that flanker, but nothing will come in. Flawless pistol round from Renegades, and a good start to that second half. But it is worth mentioning, they've now won both pistol rounds. And when you win both pistol rounds, you should be expected to win yourselves the game. And even with the follow-up rounds, they're still going to be behind.
Yeah, so now Renegades. Chance to make some money. G2 going to be Deagles in play. 4 of the players with them, and Apex has some body armor with the CZ.
I like it. Actually saving a little bit of money. Potentially, well, there's 2 ways they can go about it. Either just buy another Deagle in the next round and try and do even more damage, or just save it and have all that extra utility, maybe get an AWP in as well. Not quite what I expected, really, from G2, I'll be honest. I was expecting them to try and win this round, but at the same time, I don't think ultimately armor behind the Deagle will make that much difference. You're normally expecting to just hit 1 shot and, okay, if you get the kill, great. If not, you're probably dead anyway, so MBK trying to be a little bit smart, faking that drop sound, but isn't really going to bait in any sort of switch up from the CT side. They do still have a big advantage in this round. Obviously, SMGs and JKS will look to try and spam through the smoke. It won't be nifty to find a couple towards middle. Bomb yet to be picked up, but this is looking like it could be a fairly clean round from the CT side. Remaining players are now pushing towards.
Deep building that confidence. He's going to go ahead and get the ace. Nice and casual versus those Deags, the unarmored players for G2. No match for the might of the M4. And quite crucially, it's a clean round and a confidence-building round for Nifty. He's been a little bit quiet thus far. Those 5 kills go ahead and kind of post him where you'd expect to see on the scoreboard within Renegades, nearer the top.
I think he's already matched his kills from the first half.
Yeah.
In this half.
So, crucially, some confidence being built up. And also, they keep that round very clean, which is going to be worth its weight in gold looking forward. Now, they don't want to lose anyone here. We have got a bit of an investment coming into G2 once again. PT50s, CZ, Deagle out for Shox. Gonna try to smoke slows down body, then he's going to follow up onto MBK. Want to run the risk. Through Lazar. Perhaps it gets a little bit too big for his boots on the flank round. Shox reads it well, shuts him down, and now they're going to turn their attention over here towards B.
Still not expecting too much from the T side in this round. Jacob with the rifle, he drops the bomb already. Second kill to come in, and while Apex is going to be the only one left alive, he picked up a Deagle and an MP9, at least gets a second, so makes things a little bit more costly overall. I wonder are they actually going to be able to retrieve? No, they won't retrieve the one other rifle, so not bad at all. I'll be interested to see how many of the SMGs are actually kept in by Renegades. It was noted that only 1 was saved on Shox, in fact, when they did this on the other side. They're actually going to keep the MP9 and the UMP, but buy up a rifle and the AWP as well. And MBK, hello. That's a weapon that you don't see very often, but
he's the man that we usually see bring it out. He likes to go,
well.
yeah, he likes to go for these kind of off-the-cuff, rather unusual buys. He likes to try and make them popular. He has himself the SG. He's been getting a little bit of love as of late. But right now, G2, they've gone ahead and got 3 players over here in mid early on. Shox is holding for any aggression down through B long. We know that Renegades, they are keen on trying it. I think the last 2 rounds they have had players head down there. They're the object of their desires. Designs here at A long. Renegades, they're playing it passive. It's JKS and Jacob. This A side hold, rather. Jacob's already been tagged early on in this round. Taking a 38 HP.
JKS only has an SMG as well. So this defense definitely isn't the best over on that A site. slowing right down from the T's, but they are now going to look to execute onto the side, leaving just one man over towards the B site. The CTs are rotating everybody into support. JPS up close, but Kenny doubles down with both entries. MBK uses that SG to pick up 2 of his own, and Nifty, surely there's no choice here but to save. He's going to do the classic, try and get 1 kill, then run away. That seems to be just what every pro loves to do. It's like, you know, I feel a little bit more comfortable with myself now. I got 1 kill. Will help a little bit, of course, because the T's have only just managed to get themselves a bye. But, in fact, in the end, he will just look to back out. And, well, of course, Shox, he's on the hunt.
And this is scary. He's already here. Nifty's got no idea. Shox actually hears him running back. And you can see that Kenny's going to start to push up as well. He feels the AWP. He hears it. And he wants it. Nifty's got it, though. Shox, another man who wants the AWP. Who's going to get it first between him and Kenny? It is a race to see who finds Nifty first. They know where he is. Shox actually going to creep on by. The timing. Oh, they're back to back. Nifty goes down. Not the cleanest shots from Shox, but it's him who wins the fight to the AWP.
Yeah, and that save was actually pretty important for Renegades. With that AWP, they could have fairly easily dropped the remaining weapons and bought themselves into the next round. And in fact, even though they've got 3 players around that $6,000, $7,000 marker, they're not buying into this round. So that AWP was actually the difference between a buy coming in this round from Renegades and them saving to make sure that they can get a buy in the next. So pretty damn important. It now gives another chance for G2 to just build up their economy, start making cash, and, well, we'll see if they can at least do some damage with these pistols. Renegades not wanting to allow G2 to have the same sort of run that they had in the previous. Kenny lining up the shot towards the door. Won't find anything yet. They've got a fair few scopes lined up towards middle at the moment. CT side are going to take a gamble, which in these sort of rounds is absolutely fine. You can just try and guess where your opponents are going. They've had some aggression from Ustillo, but he's now going to fall. And you can see there's currently 4 CT players all the way over towards that A site, and with the bomb currently moving in towards B, you should expect that this is going to be an easy round. The question is, can they steal a gun or 2 away?
MBK's mighty SG. Find Nifty and through the smoke. He's consistently a fan of this gun. You see him pick it up quite a bit now, and here along, he only gets himself 1. That's an AK picked up for Jacob. AK. I kind of love watching him play with it. I'm going to be honest with you. He definitely seems more comfortable with it.
Well, he's always been someone who's happy to like abuse things that other people weren't necessarily willing to try and use. Like, for example, the jump scout. Like, he was someone who said to everyone, I hate this there, I'm going to use it. And we've seen him use the XM earlier in the game to try and make himself some money. He's now using the SG and hitting headshots all the way across the shot. And I like it. It's clearly someone who's willing to be a little bit innovative with the way that they play Counter-Strike. Although, I don't think it will catch on.
12-8 is the scoreline now. Renegades, they have closed this gap up somewhat. Now they've got themselves the buy. Nifty's on the AWP. He doesn't have armor to go behind it. He has to be a little bit careful, and he's playing on his over here towards long. Early on, he's going to be holding in through mid. Players here ready to go pushing in. JKS has rotated around to try and help him out. Cover that fall back. Actually, already Apex is up on the offensive. He's pushing on in, and they've got no idea. JKS is none the wiser here. They know they've left mid open, but I don't think they're anticipating this much aggression from G2. Nifty just battening down the hatches along. Comes out, body finds it. That's him down. MBK continues the aggression out from long. The pressure's on for JKS now. As he holds the close angle, Lazar is allowed to rotate into the site. Kenny's going to get burnt out. JKS in with a second. Flash is there for him. He's still running in. Into the crossfire he goes. It's a 3-on-3. Jacob's here to try and help out. He's about to heat up for him, though. The Molotov lands at his feet, forces him into the open. He has to take these fights. And Apex is going to win that out. He comes out from the site. Azar only takes 1, and now it's Ustillo. Rotating in from B. Smoke going to start to dissipate. He's dropped MBK. 1 versus 1. Ustillo versus Sharks. Bomb planted. Ustillo's done damage. Tagged him down low. Time's working against him. Ustillo in behind SWAT. Sharks repositioning inside of the site, and Ustillo's got no idea. Shoxy wins it out in the 1v1. And G2, they're going to be on to a 13th round. Renegades must be kicking themselves.
Ustillo's got to be absolutely, kicking himself in that situation, because he looked like he had that. He looked like he had that all day long, and now Nifty is going to take another tactical pause with his team. They don't have the money to buy into this round. It is only going to be some pistols once again. They'll get 2,900 into the next, but once more, it's a chance for more money to be built for G2, and they're getting ever closer to this first map being under their belt, and it's looking fairly quiet. Still, looks like he's almost ready to fall asleep at this point in the match. You'd hope he'd wake up a little bit. He has had some impactful plays, that's for sure. It's been a fairly quiet game from Jacob and his sort of new start to this team, and JKS as well, although he did have a fair bit of impact in that round, giving them a chance of actually winning it. But something needs to change. Somebody needs to step up. And again, since we saw the ace coming out from Nifty, I don't think he's had a single kill.
No, he's definitely struggling, and you really hate to see that happen. Now, what can they do to get out of this rut that they seem to be stuck in? I mean, we know that for Renegades, NAF was a key component for them on this map.
Yeah, his CT cobble, I think it was him actually just saying it, like, he always feels comfortable on this map and he always plays well. I think that was at the summit that he had. Yeah. It is noticeable. Obviously, this is going to be a transition period for this team. They've only had a couple of weeks to practice, but still got a chance to bring this back. Obviously, this round, not expecting anything. You can already see G2 have swarmed over the B site. The stack is over on A. It doesn't get much simpler than that for the French. It's going to be very, very easy to take this round home. I think it would have been anyway, but maybe pushing into the stack gave them a little bit of a chance. Apex is just going to wait for any sort of rotations and could be building himself up a nice little bit of... This is... Oh, can he get all of them? That's the question. Already gets 2, 3 kills. Just patience. Second time he's done that as well. Just so calm in those positions and really removes any chance of a gun being stolen away. Nifty, only one left alive, has absolutely nothing to play with as well. And there's no real reason for G2 to hunt him down. They know that there's nothing in the hands of Renegades, so you know what? You can keep your USP.
Yeah, he will end up keeping it. 5 players survive for G2. There's less Nifty can find MBK here, who's still going to be on that same angle. He actually hears him running around with MBK. Of course, he wins it out. Shox is actually going to go down at the end, but still, money made for G2. Rebuying up on Shox is no issue for them. 14-8, 1 away from map point here on their map pick of Cobblestone. For Renegades, it's the last chance at a buy. Or going to be out for Nifty. Rifles across the board. A decent bit of utility to work with. This is probably one of the best buys we've seen them have in quite some time. They don't have a kit, though. So they can afford to looking out into middle. Has to be cautious. BK waiting for a flash to get him in. Nifty's in some danger. They go for this. He's been able to find Kenny, but MBK is close by, misses the opening. Keeps the Incendiary at his feet. Now has support from JKS, but JKS has gone down. Over in mid. Az is able to get one. Nifty trying desperately to trade this back, but on his downtime in middle, the rest of G2 have made their way out into the site, and now Nifty back against the wall, going to go down. He's still is left 1v3. He's got to try and do it once again, but the bomb hasn't crossed into the site yet, so he has time. Up top of the stairs. Gonna go here. Body does get tagged up. 10 HP.
Bomb has been planted.
You're still going to try and find something. He's going to prevent a foot in the door. He's going to get tagged though, and Apex promptly kicks him back out again. That's G2 arriving at map point. 15-8.
And now things once again become quite difficult for the CT side. They're not going to have the money going into this last or potential last round if G2 can close it here. In fact, they're actually only going to have one rifle, and that's a FAMAS. 3 UMPs, a scout. I'm expecting some level of aggression getting into those closer angles for Renegades. They need to try and force the issue very early on. Nifty is going to go aggressive with the scout, looking for that opening pick. Found it in the previous round, but eventually got overwhelmed and had a couple of chances. You have to note that that battle he has with Shox in mid, Shox is holding the bomb. So a single kill that could have happened in that round could have changed absolutely everything. But that's just been the sort of story of this game. There's been close rounds. There's been points where it looked like Renegades were going to turn things around, especially in the first half, and then they instantly lose round back. The economy just doesn't work behind them. And while this man as well with the SG has been a menace.
Start to aggress. You still and Jacob here. They have. Oh, I was going to say the crossfire, but Bobby just dismantles it. Still, he's left back against the wall to try and fight this out, and he is able to drop them both. So he's been able to haul this back into a 3-on-3. They're going to go ahead and retrieve the bomb. Kenny now promptly exits. Actually, going to stay around just a little bit. Nifty and Ustillo are both there. All 3 players for Renegade stacked up inside of B. Kenny just keeps their attention there that much longer. They're going to start to rotate off, but Apex, he's already all the way up long, clearing out this site. The bomb going to be following him up through mid. Nifty, though, he could be the thing that stops this whole play. He's going to get spotted out. MBK finds the head. Nifty's gone. They're going to go pushing through the smoke. Kenny and MBK finish it off. And that is G2 to win out map number 1 on Cobblestone.
Yeah, no, a stellar performance as well from them, just across the board. There wasn't a weak player. There was nobody on that team that you could say underperformed in that matchup, and I think that's when G2 just really are at their scariest. You don't want to play G2 if everybody's hitting their shots, everybody's having their moments. I don't think there was a player that I could really say underperformed. In fact, the quietest was probably Kenny, which again is really, really scary because he can just come into a game, but he didn't really need to. You had Shox going aggressive a lot of the time on the T side. Apex was just finding entries all over the shop, able to sneak into positions. And I feel like a lot of the map control that Renegades really gathered, or at least in the first half, they didn't really utilize too well. Until the very end, we didn't see much come out from drop, even though they had it pretty much every single round. I think it was there was 2 plays I can remember. One was at the end, like the second to last round in the first half, and the other was where he managed to hold off a rotation, but they still lost the round anyway. And I think that pretty much says it all. 4 of the 5 maps' best players is going to be the guys from G2. Kenny, I'm pretty sure, was 16 and 11 as well, so he's not far off being on that list as well. As said, he had a couple of moments on that first half, but it really did just look like a masterclass of Cobblestone from G2.
And yeah, I mean, the map's worst players, as it's been dubbed.
It's kind of harsh.
As, you know, kind of like a big middle finger to Renegades, but
when it's 50%, it's kind of harsh as well. Because if you're number 6 and you're still classed as a worse player, that's kind of mean.
No, that is cutthroat, isn't it? Like, what a meritocracy this is at StarSeries. You are either the best or you are the worst.
I think that's fair.
But yeah, there's kind of the top players from either side. As you can see, Apex had an absolutely unreal performance, which I think is fantastic. He's someone who, you know, kind of back at his prime, you just didn't want to face that man ever. You know, I mean, and that's kind of the case for everyone in G2. And it's a team, that's why you kind of get so nostalgic watching it. You know, on top of that, that's why when you see them in their element, they kind of go back to that form that they once had. It is just fantastic to watch. So G2, they went out Cobble a little more one-sidedly than perhaps I would have liked. I said it was going to be 2-1, so there's still a chance heading into Mirage next.
Wait, is their pick as well?
Yeah, exactly. That is going to be the pick for Renegades. So I'm hoping we can see this go the distance. But I think that's it from us now. We're going to go ahead and throw over to a quick break, and then we'll be back with Mirage.
LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
Guardian can make it happen this time. It's the quick scope! This is unreal! Anything is possible. Anything is possible!
You still always a monster, Tom!